If you're at a funeral that's very sad, don't try to cheer people up by saying a joke. You won't be funny and you'll make things worse. If you're going to scare your friend, never do it in a public place. You might scare the wrong person and get yourself into trouble. If you're at the movies and the person behind starts kicking your seat, don't start a fight in the middle of the movie. Instead, ask to switch seats with the one behind them and do the same. If you're walking your dog on a hot, sunny day, touch the ground with your hand for 10 seconds. If it burns your hand, your dog will also suffer burns during the whole walk. If a scammer calls you on the phone, do this to trick him. First, never accept a call from an unknown number. But if you've already picked up, do not say the word yes, because they might be recording the call. And use your yes to gain access to your bank account. Instead, don't say anything at all. If they say they're going to give you free money and ask you to press 1 to receive the money via transfer, don't do it. By pressing a button, you'll give the scammer access and they'll be able to control your phone line, which is very dangerous. For example, if you get a phone call from your real bank, the scammer can reroute the call to their phone instead of yours, while using a fake voice in order to pretend to be you and steal all your information. Do this to spot a fake police officer. First, check if his clothes are stained or wrinkled, and whether he wears a police cap or has a portable radio. Real police officers always wear a cap, so civilians that are in danger can easily recognize them. Also, they're required to wear a clean uniform and carry a radio. But don't just look at their appearance, also check their car. Real police cars have reflective decals on the sides and front in perfect condition. However, fake police cars usually don't have stickers and are often dirty. Now, watch the behavior of the officer. Fake cops are always nervous in case they get found out. If you ask for his ID, he'll get upset and angry with you. A real cop will always show you his badge and will let you call 911 to verify their identity. A boy inserted a piece of Lego in his nose, but it got stuck, and to remove it, he inserted another piece. Since Lego bricks can connect to each other, he thought it was a very intelligent way to remove it, but the two pieces got stuck together. His mother managed to remove the big brick without realizing that the smaller brick was still hidden. During over 26 years, he suffered from breathing problems, asthma, and heart attacks in his sleep without knowing why. But one day, while blowing his nose in the shower, the Lego piece fell out 26 years later.
The parents of your rich friend invite you to sleep at their house. Do this so you don't look ridiculous. Bow down to say hello. Leave your shoes outside before you go in. And don't take photos or ask the price of expensive-looking objects. If you break something by mistake, don't hide it. It is very likely that they have security cameras all over the house. On the other hand, if you need anything, ask the butler for it and never the parents, because it's considered disrespectful. However, you're confused because in the bathroom you find too many towels. Remember, the bigger, the better. Use the smallest towel to wash your hands, the medium one to dry your face, and the large one for your whole body. Finally, never open the windows after 12 a.m. It is very likely that you will activate an alarm system that is going to wake everyone up.
If you think a passenger is going to hijack your plane, this is what you need to do. First, make sure you're not just being paranoid. Is the passenger sweating? Maybe he's just hot. Is he rude and using swear words? He might just be nervous flying for the first time on a plane. But if he's doing all of that while looking suspiciously at the flight attendant, you've probably discovered a terrorist. First, press the call button and alert the flight attendant about the hijacker's suspicious behavior. If the terrorist notices you, don't try to confront him verbally or physically. Instead, stay calm and listen to the flight attendant. They are trained to defuse situations on the plane and use tools to eliminate any threat. Also, the pilots are trained to lock the cockpit door and not open it for anyone under any circumstances. If everything goes silent and many animals start running around aimlessly, it means an earthquake is about to start. If a car lightly bumps into your trunk, don't stop to talk to the driver. They could be criminals that hit you on purpose to rob all your money. If you get offered a perfume sample on the street, cover your nose and don't breathe. It's actually chloroform meant to knock you out and kidnap you without drawing attention. If your house starts smelling like rotten eggs for no reason, turn off all the flames in your house. There's a gas leak, and if you use a lighter, you'll blow into smithereens. This donut has 15 grams of sugar, but this apple has 30. So why is the apple healthier than the donut? When you eat a donut, the refined sugars go into your bloodstream, causing a spike in your blood sugar levels. Your body responds by producing a lot of insulin to lower the glucose, but this leads to a sugar crash and you'll end up craving even more sugar. Consequences: acne, weight gain, and heart problems. On the other hand, when eating an apple, you're consuming sugar but with natural fibers, which slow down how much sugar reaches your bloodstream, keeping your blood sugar levels stable.
A boy jumped into fresh cement to win a bet with his friends, but the cement mixer broke down and poured a huge amount of cement covering him up to his chest. The construction workers tried to help him, but the cement started to harden quickly, making it impossible for him to move his arms and legs. The firefighters worked for hours and used saws and hammers to free him. After 5 hours, they managed to cut through the block and rushed him to the hospital. While the boy was being treated, they discovered that he had burns on his skin caused by the chemicals in the cement. The doctors applied bandages with ointment, used small tools, and took their time to remove the remaining pieces. In the end, the boy survived and made better friends.
This is what happens when you go to prison in other countries. In Russia, the first thing they do is take your clothes and wash you to prevent any bacteria from entering the prison. Once you're clean, they give you a new set of clothes, and you're forced to do a quarantine for 15 days. But in Japan, prisoners are converted into slaves and are forced to work. Their day starts at 6 o'clock in the morning and ends at 9 o'clock at night. This schedule includes 9 hours of work, 3 meals, and 3 hours of free time. But that's nothing like prisons in Norway, where they have access to a private bathroom, a plasma TV, and a window with beautiful views. Also, the guards allow you to wear your own clothes and receive 3 weekly visits from friends and family. A dog sat on top of a fully loaded shotgun in the back seat of a van and accidentally pulled the trigger. The bullet went through the driver's seat and pierced the man's back, breaking several ribs and puncturing a hole in his lung. He managed to call an ambulance and was taken to the hospital, where he recovered. The dog was sent to a shelter but ended up returning to its owner. But tragically, the dog was killed a few weeks later in a mysterious accident.
The parents of your poor friend invite you to dinner at their house. Do this so you don't look ridiculous. Put on basic clothes, put away your fancy items, and hide your iPhone so it doesn't get robbed before you arrive. If the house is in bad shape, don't say anything. It is very likely they don't have money to repair it. One more thing, don't make any complaints about the food. You have to eat all of it, even if you don't like it. Make an effort to be part of the conversations, but don't try to make jokes about money or mention the new sports car that your dad bought last week. If they make noise while eating, just let it go. But above all else, don't dare to ask why there is no dessert, because it might hurt their feelings. Finally, when you're all done with your food, help by cleaning the table to wash the dishes and subscribe to Bigdanbaby.
In 2012, a prisoner escaped from jail using ketchup. Every day, he saved his portion from the prison cafeteria, even stealing extra from other inmates. He combined it with other ingredients until he created a powerful acid, which he applied to the steel bars of his cell. The acidity was so strong that it gradually corroded the metal, weakening the bars little by little. And after 6 months, the prisoner was able to bend them with ease. He jumped down through the window while the guards were distracted and hid inside a supply truck, finally escaping. But a few days later, they found him hiding in the trash, and they stopped handing out ketchup in the prison food.
A man was buried in a grave with a glass panel placed right above his face. For years, people could walk right up to his grave and look 2 meters underground, seeing his face through the window. He did this because he had a deep fear of being buried alive. And to be safe, he also installed a bell connected to a rope, just in case he needed to signal that he was still alive. But little by little, dirt and moisture gradually covered the entire glass, hiding both the man and his fears forever.
How to always win at Uno. Never play a +2 or a +4 at the beginning of the game. It's very likely your opponent will have another +2 and you'll end up drawing 6 cards. If a player only has 2 cards left, talk to them about something interesting. When it's their turn, they'll be distracted by the conversation and forget to say Uno. On the other hand, if you have 2 cards left and one is a color change card, never choose the color of your last card, because the other players will do everything they can to change it again. Finally, if the player to your right only has 1 card left and no one can change the color, pretend to drop your cards on the table. All the other players will see your cards, but they'll also figure out which number you need to change the color. If you're in danger, do this to call for help. First, make the universal signal for distress. Raise your hand with the palm facing out, fold your thumb across your palm, and repeatedly close your fingers over your thumb. This signal was created for women to ask for help in cases of abuse, but nowadays all police recognize it as a common sign of distress. Second, many restaurants and bars have a secret code to ask for help. If you say angel shot, it means you need help getting to your car. Angel shot spicy means that you need an Uber, and angel shot with lime means you need police assistance. Lastly, if you can't move, use the rule of 3 repetitions to call for help. Make 3 quick flashes or 3 knocks on the table to signal an SOS emergency rescue. If you're at a party and you feel like something has stung or pricked you, get out of there as fast as you can. Someone might have injected you with a drug to make you lose consciousness. If you're in the bathroom and you drop your phone into the toilet, don't try to put it in rice to absorb the water. It's a myth that doesn't work, and the rice could get stuck inside the phone. If you're the mother of a newborn baby, never take him to a public hospital. Other poor and sick patients might try to attack you out of jealousy. If you need to get an MRI, do not enter the room with metal objects. The machine has a super magnet that will attract them with massive force.
If you come across a wolf, shout and fight against it. Wolves only attack while in packs, and if you hit it, he'll get scared. If you're very sick, get up and go out to play sports. If you sweat a lot of liquid, you'll expel the virus from your body. If your father calls you on the phone, but he only wants to ask you for money, turn on airplane mode. He'll think you don't have coverage and will stop calling you. If you're lost on a completely desert island, but you're an idiot and don't know how to make fire, fish for raw fish and make sushi. First, remove all the bacteria and then eat it very carefully.
If you're lost on the street and you see a lot of kids asking for money, run away as fast as possible. It is an old trick used by criminals to steal from you. If you're an idiot and sleep with your phone, be careful. If it gets too hot, it will cause a big explosion and burn your house. If you have leeches sucking on your body, don't take them off. They'll vomit on the wound and you'll die from diseases. If you're on a bike and you're about to fall, freeze and do absolutely nothing. The bike will keep going straight by itself due to the speed.
A snake can start eating its own tail if it mistakes it for a prey. This happens when it's in situations of extreme stress, causing intense confusion. In this state, its natural instinct to hunt and eat is so strong that it doesn't even realize that it's eating its own tail. If it manages to swallow too much of it, it can get stuck in its intestines and cause a blockage. This blockage can lead to irreversible damage and even death. How to find out the meaning of your dreams. If you dream that you're at your own funeral, it means you're sad and want to yourself. If you drown in a dream and wake up unable to breathe, it means you've lied too much and you're about to be found out. On the other hand, if you see an animal in a dream, it represents a friend or family member. For example, if you see a snake, it means you have a fake friend. If you see a fox, it means someone is cheating on you. Lastly, if you dream that you want to scream but can't open your mouth, it means no one is listening to you and you should find other friends. A statue of Jesus began to cry holy water from its feet in 2012, but since no one knew where the water was coming from, everyone believed it was a miracle. People started collecting the water and touching the blessed statue. But one man discovered that a bathroom pipe had burst, and the moisture buildup caused the water to seep through the wall. Angry about his discovery, the religious people accused him of being a liar, forcing him to flee the country. A hole in a rock is filled with seed, while the baboon watches carefully, and just as the hunter walks away, the baboon reaches in and grabs the seeds. But once he closes his hands, his fist no longer fits through the hole, and even as the hunter approaches, he refuses to let go of the seeds, and is captured without trouble. Then, they make him eat pieces of salt so he gets very thirsty, and when they finally release him, he shows the hunter the way to his secret water source.
In 2001, a 9-year-old girl named Asha grabbed her backpack and left her home during a thunderstorm. It was so early that it was still dark outside, and a mysterious driver saw her walking down the street all alone. The car turned around and tried to approach her, but Asha ran off, hiding in the woods. By dawn, Asha had vanished, leaving behind some of her belongings near a wooden shelter. Despite extensive searches and numerous leads, no trace of her was ever found. A year later, her backpack was discovered, wrapped in a plastic bag at a construction site, but it provided no clue to solving the case. No one knows why Asha left home or where she was going, making her disappearance one of the most mysterious unsolved cases in the world.
If the parents of your rich friend invite you to dinner at their house, do this so you don't embarrass yourself. Turn off your phone, place a napkin over your lap, and patiently wait until everyone has their food to begin. However, you're lost because there are too many knives and forks. Remember, first outside, then inside. Start with a smaller fork and knife for the first course, and take the regular fork and knife for the main course. But when do we use the spoon? Apparently, the spoon must face away from you and be used outward. If you're going to hand over some food, pass it counterclockwise. Finally, when you have finished your meal, set your fork and knife across the plate and subscribe to Bigdanbaby.
If you're in World War III, don't even think about posting TikTok. The Chinese will hack your phone location and kill you. If you wake up and realize you wet the bed, do not panic. It's probably just that the day before you drank too much water. If you're lost on Everest and running low on food, empty out your whole bag. The cold preserves food much better and it won't rot. If you're an idiot and never make your bed, throw your mattress in the trash. It's full of filthy bugs that will rot your skin. If you're in a building and about to use the elevator, don't get in if there are more than 8 people. The cables won't support the weight and you'll be crushed. If you get tied up and thrown into the sea, don't try to undo the knot with your teeth. You'll waste too much time and run out of air. First move your head to float, then untie yourself. If you're in a fire and there's smoke everywhere, cover your nose with a cloth and crawl on the ground. The clean air stays low and the toxic smoke rises. If you're on a plane that makes an emergency landing on water, don't inflate your life vest inside the plane. You could get stuck at the door and die while drowning. A child swallowed 31 magnets from a toy bracelet in 2016, which ended up getting stuck inside his stomach. If the magnets had connected, they could have damaged all his organs, causing severe harm and deadly infections. The doctors inserted a very thin tube with a camera through his mouth to reach the stomach, and they passed a powerful magnet through the tube to pull the metal balls out of the child's body, managing to save his life without any damage to his organs. If you come across a lot of stray cats, do not give them food. They'll think you have infinite food and they'll follow you to your house to live with you. If your front door is open and has scratch marks on the lock, lock the door completely and call the police. A group of thieves is trapped inside your house. If your car won't start, ask a friend to push the car. If the wheels are moving, the engine will be able to start. If you're gross and don't clean your hair, cut it off now. Your hair has rotted and it's the perfect home for lice. If you're dying of hunger, look for trees with soft and moist leaves. If you suck on them, you'll gain energy but they won't kill you. If you're home alone and you choke while eating, slam your body against a piece of furniture to generate force in your stomach and push the food out. If you need to put a message inside a bottle, don't write near the edges of the paper. The water could smudge the ink and erase the whole message. If you're arguing with your mum and you're really angry, stop yelling and write down everything you're thinking on paper. This will help you control your emotions so you can keep arguing more calmly. If you're on a plane and it starts shaking violently, do not panic. Just stare at the flight attendant. If they are calm, it means there's no real danger. If you ever get kidnapped, here's what you should do. Don't scream for help. Instead, shout fire. People often react more if they hear fire instead of help. Try to drop any personal items like a watch, a shoe, or a ring. This can help the police track your location. If you can still see, watch for major landmarks, like parks, train stations, or famous buildings to memorize where they are taking you. If you can't see, rely on your other senses. Try to listen for sounds or remember strange smells, and keep track of the number of turns while you count how long you're traveling. Experts say your best chance to escape is within the first 24 hours, so inhale a lot of air so they don't tie you too tight. If they are using zip ties, use your teeth to tighten them even more. Then lift your hands above your head and slam them against your knees. The pressure will make them snap easily. When the kidnappers eventually leave the room, try to slip out of your restraint and start running as fast as you can. If you're trying to be funny by making a joke about bald people, don't do it in public. There's a good chance you're near some bodybuilders, and most of them are pretty bald. If you suddenly inherit a lot of money, don't tell your family. Your cousins and brothers will come asking for cash. If you buy a giant television, never throw the box in the trash. If thieves come across the box, they'll break in to steal your TV. If you're staying in a suspicious hotel, turn off the lights and examine the eyes in every painting. They might have hidden cameras to spy on you in secret. Do this so your child eats healthy. When he turns 6 years old, you'll buy him lots of junk food like McDonald's or pizzas, along with a small glass of milk. Your child will be very happy, but he doesn't know that he's lactose intolerant. So right after eating, he'll run to the bathroom with explosive diarrhea, and he'll think the stomach pain is caused by the junk food. Now, you'll prepare him healthy food, but with a glass of lactose-free milk. When he finishes eating and drinks his normal milk, he'll feel great, and he'll hate pizza and burgers forever. If you're at your rich friend's house and break something, don't try to hide it. They have security cameras all over the house and they'll catch you. If you're at the beach and bury your whole body in the sand, don't even think about doing it near the water. If the tide comes in, you'll drown. If you're not home and need to charge your phone, don't use public USB outlets. It's a trick that hackers use to steal your information. If you're alone in a movie theater and a stranger sits right next to you for no reason, pretend you're getting a phone call and change seats. They are most likely a child kidnapper. How to spot a fake friend. Make a small, unimportant mistake in front of your friend. The imposter in the group will try to humiliate you in front of others. If you're suspicious of a friend, ask them for a very simple favor. It's very likely they'll come up with a cheap excuse that's easy to check. On the other hand, if a friend laughs at you in front of people you don't know, they're just trying to gain social approval without caring about your feelings. Lastly, if your friends make plans but always forget to include you, don't ask for permission to go. Remember, it's better to be alone than in bad company. How to find out the meaning of your dream. If you fall in a dream just before waking up, it means you have a lot of anxiety and your brain is warning you about something. Dreaming about a dead relative or friend means you haven't accepted their death yet and need to say goodbye. On the other hand, if you transform into an animal, it means you need to explore more aspects of your personality. For example, turning into a wolf means you need to develop your aggression more. Finally, when your teeth fall out in a dream, it reflects that you have many insecurities about your appearance and hate looking in the mirror. How to always win at rock, paper, scissors. The best move against a man is paper, and against a woman, rock, since the average man picks rock for its strength, while women choose scissors because of... When someone wins at rock, paper, scissors, they usually repeat the same move in the next round. But if they lose, it's very likely they'll change their strategy. So, if you win a round, repeat your opponent's move. If you lose, throw what neither of you picked. If it's a tie, repeat your own move. Lastly, if you must win no matter what, hit your palm with an open hand, not a closed fist, before the match. Your opponent's subconscious will make them choose scissors and you'll win with rock. A thief broke into a supermarket in 2008, and while escaping, he was surprised to see a giant lollipop. The man thought it was real, but when he licked the lollipop, he realized it was fake. However, his tongue left a clue for the police, because the tongue, just like fingerprints, has a unique pattern. The investigators took the tongue print from the lollipop to identify the thief, and a few days later, the police put him in jail. If you're in a forest and you don't hear any sound, hide as fast as possible. A very large animal is about to attack you. If you break a power tower, don't lift your feet off the ground. An electromagnetic field has formed, and if you're not touching the ground, you'll die. If an app shows up on your phone that you don't recognize, delete it immediately. It's very likely that it's stealing your information. If you're diving and feel like vomiting, try to throw up inside your mask. If you take it off, you'll swallow salt water and die.
You're going to school, but then a thief tries to rob you. Do this quickly so you can fool him. When you come across the thief, secretly observe and analyze his pockets. It is very likely there's a weapon hidden in there. On the other hand, if he takes out a knife, do not resist. Your life is more important than a stupid old phone. But what happens if you are carrying very expensive things? Take your phone and smash it on the floor. If you're able to confuse the thief, you'll gain some time to escape. Run fast without looking back. Go into the store closest to you and call the police. Carefully review all security cameras. Report the theft to the police and subscribe to Bigdanbaby.
An earthquake bed will swallow you up. If it senses an earthquake is coming, it instantly raises up walls around you to form a secure box, essentially sealing you inside a reinforced shelter. The structure can withstand really heavy loads and even remains intact under the pressure of collapsed walls. It also has food and water hidden inside on a shelf, in case you're trapped for extended periods. If you jump from a 50-story building, most people think that if you wrap yourself in bubble wrap, you won't die, since bubble wrap is designed to absorb impacts. But you'd need a cushion that's 3 meters thick to slow your fall gradually and spread the force over a larger area. And if you tried to cover yourself with bubble wrap, you'd need over 15,000 layers of bubble. That would create an armor 200 meters thick to fully absorb the force of the impact.
If you are freezing to death, but you start to feel a strong heat, don't take off your clothes. You are about to die, and your body is burning up all its energy to warm up all your organs. If you're being chased by a crocodile, run doing zigzags as fast as possible. Crocodiles don't know how to turn while out of the water. If you are about to sleep, but you hear a little baby crying, don't even think about going outside. It is a trick used by many criminals to enter and rob empty houses. If you have been bitten by a venomous snake, do not panic. If your heart speeds up, the venom will mix with your blood and you'll die.
If you drink 70 cups of coffee, the large amount of caffeine will kill you instantly. But just a couple of tablespoons of caffeine powder would be a lot more dangerous. A single tablespoon of caffeine powder is equal to 28 cups of coffee. In 2019, a distracted man accidentally mixed way too much caffeine powder in his drink, which equaled to more than 200 cups of coffee. This made his heart beat in an extremely fast rhythm, and the man started to foam from his mouth moments before he died.
If you get tied up with a rope, tense your muscles and inhale a lot of air into your lungs. This will make your body take up more space and you'll be able to escape easily. If you're lost in the middle of the ocean, look for a mirror or a metal object. You can use them to reflect the sunlight and signal for help. If you're in a public bathroom and there's no toilet paper, run to a store and ask for gift wrapping. You'll spend a lot of money, but you won't run out of toilet paper. If a dog attacks you, throw your backpack or jacket on the ground. This will distract the dog and give you time to escape.
You go on your first trip alone without your parents. Do this so you do not look ridiculous. On your way to the airport, send your mom your flight number. Take good photos of your passport and ID just in case. And use Duolingo to learn phrases from the local language. How to say hello, ask for directions, and order some food. On the other hand, you'll also use Google Translate, so you are able to translate things offline. And also download movies and podcasts so you don't get bored during the flight. Finally, in your suitcase, do not forget to bring a neck pillow, a portable battery, and subscribe to Bigdanbaby.
If you're on a date but you've got a pimple, don't go and burst it. Your face will get infected and so red that you'll look ridiculous. If you're completely lost in the desert during a really heavy sandstorm, cover your head using your shirt. The sand could easily get into your eyes and lungs and you'll die instantly. If you are traveling in an airplane, don't activate Wi-Fi on your mobile. The signal will send interference to the plane and it will get confused. If you come across some workers on the street, don't look at them for too long. The sparks flash with a light so strong that you'll go blind.
If you fall into the ocean from a cruise, your body will hit the water at 70 kilometers per hour, quickly submerging you deep into the water. But if you manage to make it back up, the ship will most likely be too far away, making it almost impossible to be seen in the water. Now, if someone saw you fall, the captain will stop the ship, but the rescue protocol can take such a long time that you'll have to wait in the ocean for hours, and that's if they find you at all.
By accident, you put the milk before the cereals because you're way too tired. Do this and you'll be able to sleep better. After your classes and playing on your mobile phone, it is the time for dinner. Remember, you really need to stop eating 2 hours before going to your bed. On the other hand, 30 minutes before going to sleep, stop using your mobile and turn on the airplane mode. However, how do I set my alarm if now I don't have the phone? Go and buy yourself a real clock with alarm. Finally, put up dark curtains to block out the light from outside. Don't drink water before sleeping and subscribe to Bigdanbaby.
If there's a small piece of skin sticking out of the corner of your finger, don't try to pull it off. The wound could keep tearing endlessly. Instead, use scissors to cut it. If it's your grandmother's birthday, never throw her a surprise party. You could literally scare her to death and she won't make it to her next birthday. If you accidentally walk into the women's bathroom, don't try to hide so nobody sees you. Someone might catch you and think you're a pervert. If you go out to dinner with your girlfriend and your card gets declined, don't admit you're broke and have no money. Say that you were traveling abroad and your bank only has a foreign currency.
If you have to cross a frozen river, lie down flat and crawl like a worm. If you run across it, the ice will break and you could die from hypothermia. If you've been kidnapped by a group of terrorists, do not play dead. Terrorists always check the corpses and they'll kill you. If you're about to wear dirty clothes, but they don't smell bad, don't do it. Your nose has gotten used to the bad smell that it can't detect the stink anymore, but you're still gross. Even if you're dying of thirst, never drink your own urine. If the bacteria enter your stomach, you could die from poisoning. It's better to find a cactus and drink drink carefully. If a stranger sends you money but says it was a mistake, don't send it back. It's a trick that most scammers use to launder money.
3 scams you need to avoid if you travel to another country. In Paris, France, never accept a free bracelet. Once you have it on your wrist, the scammer will tighten the bracelet very tightly and demand a lot of money for it. But if you're in Thailand, never accept to play a game of Connect 4. An innocent-looking child will ask you to play Connect 4 for money. Even if it seems easy, these kids are professional Connect 4 masters and will beat you badly. But the taxi scam exists all over the world. A taxi meter usually measures the distance traveled and the time spent to calculate a price. But there's a button to charge more money during nights or on weekends. And many drivers take advantage of this button to scam unsuspecting tourists during the day. If you drop a cat from the top of the Burj Khalifa, could it land on its feet? Look, when you drop them from a normal height, cats have a special ability that allows them to twist their bodies in midair in a fraction of a second. And thanks to this, they can land on their feet. But if you drop one from the Burj Khalifa, those reflexes won't help much. Beyond a certain height, the impact is too strong and it really doesn't matter how the cat lands. How to make time go faster at school. What you're not going to do is look at the clock every 5 seconds. The mental trick I used in high school was to break the classes into 15-minute sections. If I had a boring class, I'd tell myself, survive 15 minutes 4 times and the class will be over. Why do bus seats have such strange designs? Sitting on public transport seats might seem harmless, but these colorful patterns are actually meant to hide built-up dirt. That way, the seats look cleaner and they can spend less money on cleaning them.